Welcome to DHN. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. In this video, we're going to focus on the Quant network. I found some very interesting information about that recent pump we had over the last week or so. On top of that, we're going to talk about the global landscape when it comes to regulation and how Quant is kind of at the center of it all. Now, total value of all crypto in the market, $925 billion, which is pretty much the same as yesterday. Total volume in the market, though, is up just a little bit, 5.3% to 51.2 billion. Bitcoin coming in at 19.2 and Ethereum sitting at 1303. BNB 272 and XRP still settling down at 45 cents. Top gainers for the week are still that Huobi token and Quant. Now Aave is moving into a strong position. Aave is one to watch out for. They do a lot of work with payments and DeFi in Brazil. Polygon also doing well, up 9% on the week. The Morning Hustle video for today broke some big news about Polygon. Be sure to check that out. Let's get into our first piece of news. I want to cover these new tax laws. Don't worry, it's a really short segment, but this is important to know. If you're holding a lot of Quant, you might want to know how it's going to be taxed. On our 2022 tax forms, we're going to find a category that includes both cryptos and NFTs. This category is going to be bigger and clearer. In the words of the IRS, they have released a draft bill with a clear section on digital assets. This section will explain if and how taxpayers will have to account for their use of cryptos, stablecoins, and NFTs. On page 16 of the draft, cryptographically secured value on a distributed ledger or any similar technology is the given example of a digital asset. On the 1040 tax form for last year, taxpayers had to say if they received, sold, or traded virtual currency. This term will be changed for the 1040 tax form for 2022, which hasn't been released yet. They describe a number of situations that American taxpayers will have to answer yes to the question on Form 1040 or 1040 SR. In regards to digital assets, this includes getting a digital asset as a prize or reward, payment for goods or services, selling or exchanging, giving or getting rid of one in 2022. Also includes digital assets received through mining or staking. Now, this is really a lot similar to how it was last year. What they've done with this is just put definition to it. They also go into clarifying conditions around holding assets long term. They state you have a financial interest in a digital asset if you are the owner of the record of a digital asset or have an ownership stake in an account that holds one or more digital assets, including the rights and obligations to acquire a financial interest, or you own a wallet that holds digital assets. So a couple things about that. The last part applies to initial offerings like ICOs and IDOs. If you're getting tokens or coins paid out over vesting periods, then that's going to have to be taxed. And then secondly, this does make me question how much information do they have already? Because we've heard plenty stories over the year of certain blockchains partnering with these security companies that are giving them access to our information. Just makes me curious. So let's talk Quant. Some very fine technical analysis was done to explain this recent Quant pump. What it all boils down to is the fact that a lot of people were buying Quant, while those who got in near the bottom back in July were selling off. This information was gathered from the number of daily active addresses, which are accounts that either enter or leave the market in a 24-hour period. The number of people holding at least 100 or more Quant showed massive buying activity. Holders with 1,000 or more were taking profits, most likely because they got in back in July when Quant was sitting at about $83. Now, taking profits on a 3 to 4 month play, I can't fault that. I just hope they still got some left. The RSI is indicating that Quant is in what they call an overbought territory, which basically means money came into the market too fast and now it has to snap back or correct its position in the markets. Now, that's what the technicals are saying. I personally feel that it is not just us. It's not just the hustlers who know what's coming in November. By now, the rest of the market is starting to get the bigger picture. We watched this rally alongside coins like XRP, Stellar, Casper, Algo, XDC, and you can't tell me that all of that was just a coincidence, especially when maps like this are starting to circulate around the interwebs. This leads us perfectly into our next story. Gilbert Verdeen was in Forbes commenting on how he felt about the current landscape of crypto regulations. He states, "You've got forward-thinking jurisdictions like Europe, Switzerland, for example, who are very clear on different types of crypto assets, and they have been since 2017. Now, recently with the EU, you've got MiCA, where it's really defining what a crypto asset means and what a crypto asset service provider needs to do to access the market and to serve and sell to consumers and businesses. I think what it means for the US is really to play catch up." I agree with both Verdeen's words and the overall sentiment of this article. As you guys might be aware, I keep a couple eyes around the world to watch how crypto regulations are evolving. It's just as crucial as the development itself. I'll tell you, if this was a race, folks, the US would be about 10 laps down, while the rest of the world is on the back straightaway approaching the checkered flag. Secondly, the core of this article centers around the most recent report published by the FSB. The FSB is linked to the G20, from which we get our Agenda 2022 video. This latest report provides recommendations on how crypto and digital assets should have the same laws all around the world. This would include regulations for a global stablecoin network, NFTs, staking, things like that. Now, with this line of thinking, as far as fully developed nations go, Europe is the leader when it comes to it. Their MiCA legislation is going to be the benchmark for the rest of the NATO countries. Yes, I said NATO because on the other side of this coin, you have BRICS nations, and the majority of them are already solidified crypto definitions. Brazil, the Middle East, Russia, China, they're already at the point of utility when it comes to digital assets. Over here, European countries are the only ones actually implementing use cases on the blockchain. I mean, we talk a lot about IOTA and its presence in the EU, of course, Quant, Ripple, but the amount of activity coming from private blockchain companies and industry players is just as impressive. You have SD Works teaming up with Fintech Modular to support faster payments on the workforce. These are those same-day payments or on-demand pay applications that we have been coming across recently. Modular is also a Ripple partner too. Eswatini Central Bank partnering with German firm to explore a central bank digital currency. This arrangement was made in full view and support of the IMF and the World Bank. JP Morgan looking to tokenize euro deposits soon. This is going to be done using their Onyx blockchain protocol. We already know about the numerous connections that they have. But I think the biggest mover and shaker of the week that I found would have to be this right here. The UK introduces an electronic trade document bill into Parliament. This bill would officially bring the world of global trade finance onto the blockchain, and it'll be fully compliant with the IFTA, who is an active supporter of the XDC network. This is a small piece to a much larger puzzle. We're in a bear market right now. Portfolios are down. FUD is all over the place. But it is in these moments where the smaller, more important cogs are being put in place. I am currently in the research process for our next crypto film for our Diamond Hustle members. And folks, there are so many things moving around the world right now behind the scenes. Got one more for you. It's going to bring us back to the States. The lobbying has begun to allow fintechs and crypto companies direct access to the FedNow instant payment system. They're looking to get in before it goes live, right? The Financial Technology Association, whose members include Jack Dorsey's Block, Intuit, and Klarna, who is a buy now, pay later type of company. You got Stripe and Plaid, who are the two main entities that allow you to buy crypto with your credit or debit card from almost any exchange. And then, of course, PayPal, the payment giant. They're all actively vying for access to the fintech industry. So I know we covered a whole lot in this particular video, guys, but when you're talking about projects like Quant, it takes you there. It does. But I'm always interested in hearing your ideas, folks. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget about your DHN Crypto Journal for 2023. And if you're interested on how Diamond Hustle members are getting access to exclusive crypto documentaries and education, as well as many other perks, just click the join button under this video to learn more. And with that, you know what I'm going to tell you. To all my digital hustlers worldwide, have a great day, have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if the money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next video.
The QNT token is at the core of everything that we're doing. If you own gateways and you run this on the network, when you process transactions, you get paid in QNT. It's a great ecosystem that we're building, and this will evolve. We want to make it the currency and the payment option for all the data and the transactions that are being put on the network, so people can actually trade in QNT, and it can be used for hundreds and hundreds of use cases around AI, data. If you want to do an MDAP on payments, if you want to do an MDAP as an exchange, if you want to create an AWS equivalent on the Overledger network, all of this is possible. So QNT has just become that pure utility token that can be used for everything.